Right, how are we doing, everybody? Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. I've got a fantastic drill for you guys to be improving your golf swing. This is something that I'm using a lot now with people that come to visit for lessons, but also online, because it's having such a strong visual on how you're going to improve your golf swing. It's something that I really love. Now, what do you need to do this drill? Golf club, ball, obviously. We also need some alignment sticks. These can be purchased, they're really inexpensive, but they're useful training aids. And that, if I'm honest, if you're a keen practicer, these are normally used as your checkpoint for your alignment anyway. So 100% you need these in the bag. First one goes down on the floor and it's parallel towards your club face alignment. So if I'm setting up towards that 150-yard target in the distance, my club face, which is represented now by this cane, should point down towards my target, and my feet, like train tracks, should be parallel towards that. That's the first cane. Second cane, we're going to move the ball for a moment, because you can do this down the range hitting shots, but you can also do it as dry runs at home, lives perpendicular to it. Now when you get yourself set up, if I now face you for a moment, sternum should be in line with the cane like so. So that's your reference. Again, if you want to practice with your driver, you can move yourself further forward, but you get my point. This one would be in line with basically where your golf ball would be. Okay, what are we doing? Well, this is very much a great little sequencing exercise to help you feel your way into a great impact position. What we're trying to do with impact is strike down on the golf ball. And the way that we're going to do that is by introducing an element of shaft lean, which essentially just means that when we hit the ball, we need the hands ahead of the club head in this little hitting area like so. A definition of a flip means that the club head is overtaking the hands, and that is something that we definitely don't want. That's a big no-no. So how do we overcome that, and what is the point of this little setup? Well, by setting up the canes like so, we create 4 boxes. We've got box number 1, box number 2, box number 3, and box number 4. So we've got 4 boxes. So if I imagine I'm facing back down towards my target down the range there, I swing up towards the top of my backswing. As soon as I start the downswing, the feeling is that my lead hip and my lead shoulder are going to work back, as you can see here, into box number 3. So we want to avoid any movement towards box number 1. I don't care even if you're somebody who's slicing the golf ball, whatever it is, you should be moving back into box number 3. How much is up to you. You can, in this drill, that's completely down to you or whatever you're working on. You can rotate a lot or you can rotate less. Here's the thing. However hard you're going to move into box number 3 at the start of your downswing, which again, if I now do it facing you, 1, 2, 3, and 4, however hard you're going to move, or fast or assertive you're going to move your hip and shoulder into box number 3, you have to make sure there is an equal and opposite reaction with your hands moving into box number 1. So if I get myself set up again and show you what that looks like, I swing up, I move my hip and shoulder into box number 3, because the thing is, if I keep moving this way and I don't, at the start of my downswing, react with my hands moving and feeling like they're moving more towards box number 1, what's going to happen is the shaft's going to come down too vertical and we're going to get stuck and flicky. So however assertive you want to move into box number 3, you have to have the equal and opposite factor of moving your hands towards box number 1 at the start of the downswing. So that would be this here. So the way I'm just kind of getting this sort of feeling of my hands are trying to move towards box number 1. Again, I face you guys, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shoulder and hip are going down into box 3. Hands work out to box number 1. Fine. That's going to be a different feeling for a lot of golfers. And there'll be a huge amount of fear of, how do we get the club on the back of the ball? Aren't I going to miss-hit it? Aren't I going to shank it? Well, what happens is we swing up and we move into box number 3 and the hands move towards box number 1. But as we come back into the hitting area, what starts to happen is the hands move back into box number 3. And to be able to do this, the arm basically has to rotate, which will send the club back onto plane. So in theory, you can rotate as much as you want to into box number 3, as long as you move towards box number 1, and then you come back into box number 3. And the more that you rotate, so the more that you move your hip and shoulder into box 3 at the start of the downswing, the more that you're going to be able to introduce shaft lean coming in towards the hit. But the brilliant thing about this drill, and the thing that I like, is some of you might not physically be able to create huge amounts of rotation. Some of you might not want to create huge amounts of rotation, and that's fine. Some of you want to. But as long as you understand, for every action that you make, there has to be an equal and opposite reaction into another box, then you're going to be absolutely fine. And when you're rehearsing stuff at home or down the range, always teach your brain to get the club on the back of the ball by reintroducing the hands into box 3, and your brain will start to realize, oh yeah, I can actually move in this sort of way, and start to emulate potentially much better positions. So I love this. It's a really, really sort of simple idea of just how to understand, by breaking it up into those 4 boxes, how you can match up your golf swing and make sure that everything is happening together. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. I always appreciate a thumbs up and a like. Remember, it's free to subscribe. If you're going to do so, you might as well press the little bell icon, because that means you'll receive notifications every time a new video comes out. Practice it down the range, hit some balls with it. Of course, just move that stick out the way and you can hit some shots doing exactly these same feels. Push the boundaries of comfort if you're trying to make a swing change, and I'll catch up with you guys again really soon.